friendlies, how's up? And welcome to the 2019 Rain Dance Bushcraft Gift Guide. How does that sound for a title? I think I'll use it. I used to call this the Affordable Gift Guide, but starting last year, I sort of did a tiered pricing scheme, which I'm going to maintain this year. It'll start very affordable and end kind of on a splurgy note, so I'm not going to call it the Affordable Gift Guide anymore. Okay. Also, as I did last year, I'm basing it on US prices for two reasons. It gives me more freedom in terms of selecting cooler gadgets, and I have a lot of American viewers, and it'll just be easier for you guys. What I'll do is I'll put, like, you know, equivalences for Canadians. So, oh, I'm too small. So without further ado, let's get started. This is the $20 mark. These are more almost like stocking stuffers. They're small, stick them in a stocking, good to go. The first is the SOL Emergency Bivvy. There'll be a link right there at $16.99 US. It's an emergency bivvy. Yeah, it's windproof and waterproof, and it's like an aluminium coated polyethylene or something. And apparently they claim that it'll reflect 90% of your body heat back to you. So if you're in an emergency situation, get in there, and it should protect you from the elements for as long as you need. It's also reusable. You know how some of these emergency blankets that come in the little plastic packet, you use them once, they tear, and sayonara? This does not go into landfill after you use it. It's repackable, and it's small, man. It packs into like a little canister shape, a little bit smaller than a pop can. It's very portable, it's very light. All the measurements I have here are in American, so I'll just put equivalences up on screen. It's 84 inches by 36 inches when it's deployed, and it weighs 3.8 ounces. So that's pretty damn good. You can throw that into your backpack, or if you got like a little go bag or something, it'll take up no room and it won't weigh anything. And I like it. I would like it, in fact. The second thing at the $20 mark is Beeswax food wrap. Okay, a lot of us who are, you know, in love with the outdoors and everything get a little crazy about landfill and plastics and stuff, and I am very much of that bent. What I've got here is a specific one that's available at Mountain Equipment Co-op in Canada, but there's all kinds of options around this price range. What I have here is the Abigo Variety Beeswax food wrap set. Okay, it's three. There's a small, a medium, and a large for wrapping like a little, like a tomato and a lettuce and something else. One of the benefits of these beeswax food wrap things is that your food tends to last longer than if you just wrap it in plastic, aside from the not using plastic benefit. So these ones are a hemp cotton blend that are infused with beeswax, some kind of tree resin, they don't say exactly what, and jojoba wax. Jojoba oil, is that jojoba? Jojoba? I think it's jojoba. Jojoba. At the $50 mark, we've got two practical options. The first is leg gaiters for wintertime trekking or camping. I've got two options for you, one in Canada, one in the States. The Canadian option is the Mountain Equipment Co-op Kokanee gaiters, which cost $49.95 Canadian. They come in like three colors. They've got an abrasion-resistant nylon front, which is, 70 denier, I think? 70? Yes, I'm just checking my notes here. They're resistant to water, they're resistant to snow buildup. They're sized extra small to extra large. In the States, REI has an option at around the same price for $45. There's an Outdoor Research Rocky Mountain high gaiters for men. They attach up the front with hook and loop enclosure and stuff. They got a lot of straps and buckles on them, but they're gaiters. You know, they're not elegant, but when it's, you know, snow up to your knees, you really like to have gaiters. Which reminds me, I need to get some new ones, so maybe I'll put my money where my mouth is on this. The next item at the $50 mark is a duffel bag. Now, bear with me. A duffel is not exactly elegant or glamorous, but what I've come to realize is that when I'm throwing stuff together for a trip, like just a little trip to my mother-in-law's place on the lakefront or whatever, there's stuff that goes in my rucksack And then there's all kinds of like incidental stuff, like camera equipment. I have two options. One is at REI. It's the REI Co-op, what is it? The REI Co-op Road Tripper Duffle. It's a 60-liter bag for $49.95 US. It comes in three colors. There's a blue, there's a black, and there's what they call a maple orange, which is the one I would go for because, as you guys may know, I like orange bush gear for the findability. It's got a contoured end handle just so you can grab it and go. The carrying handles, as the straps and the carrying handles go down the side, they turn into daisy chains, so you can like clip stuff to it on the go if you really have to. I would stick a beaner on there or whatever. And it's a really nice looking bag. In Canada, Mountain Equipment Co-op redesigned their duffel due to member feedback, shall we say. It's not as nice looking a bag. It doesn't have the daisy chains down the side, but it's still a pretty good option. Their 60-liter is $49.95 Canadian. It comes in 5 colors. There's like blue, black, red, and olive, I think. It's got side handles, and it also folds into its own pocket. So, 2 options there. Much more useful than they are exciting, but still, they're good options. At the $100 mark, I've got 2 suggestions that were made by subscribers and friends. The first is the Hot Ash Mini Titanium and Aluminium Rocket Stove. That was suggested by my buddy Paul Bakima. Not specifically from the Christmas gift guide poll video I put up yesterday, but rather I had an email from him fairly recently saying that it was on sale and that he grabbed one. It's normally $89.99 US, but right now it's supposed to have been a Black Friday sale, but it's still listed as $44.99 US. Now, Canadians, that's a great price, but when I went to buy one, the shipping is $40 to $80 US dollars. So, be aware. Anyways, it weighs just under a pound, and it's a really nice size for like just a quick trip. Okay, it's 7 inches by 2.3, so it's good for boiling up a cup of water for ramen or tea or something. It's not sized for a full-on camp out. You know, you're not going to be frying eggs on top of it. But it's still a really nice little stove. Rocket stoves are very hot right now, so to speak. It seems like everyone's putting out a rocket stove because it's a really good design. And the hot ash one comes with a lifetime guarantee. Win. The second item at $100 was suggested by Tyler Rodriguez. Okay, so the Woolrich Men's, what is it? The Woolrich Men's Flannel Overshirt. It comes in sizes from extra small to extra extra large because they know their market. And it comes in, I think, 9 colors. But come on, it's a lumberjacket, right? Red and black check, it's gotta be. So it doesn't technically fit into $100. It's $110, but the price right now is $77. And since this is a gift guide for right now, I'm just flubbing it. It's 100% cotton. It's a 200 weight, so it's a medium weight cotton. It's a 3-season thing. You're not going to walk out into February in Quebec, that's for sure, in it. But it'll be great for spring, fall, cooler nights in the summer. And it's a straight up traditional lumber jacket, right? You got your patch pockets, you got your button cuffs, you know, button up front. It's got a good fit in terms of wearing something else under it. It's not like one of these hipstery slim fit things. So yeah, that's the $100 mark. $200. First up, this baby right here. What is this, you may ask? Oh, I'm gonna tell you. This is the Council Tool 16-inch Camp Carver, which is a dual-purpose axe. 1 for carving, 2 for general camp chores. It's hatchet size, so if you're gonna try to take down an 8-inch trunk, forget about it. But for everything else, like limbing, carving, tent pegs, anything like that, it's a really nice option. So what do we got? It's a 5160 steel, stuck onto, of course, a hickory stick. We got a 26 ounce head, which is about 737 grams. Shipped, the whole box is like 1,600 grams. It's like 1.6 kilos if I remember correctly. You've got a 4-inch or 11.5 centimeter bit length. It's got a nice beard so that you can really get up if you're doing some carving stuff or anything where you need like a lot of control. Interestingly, it's got a, I think it was 25 to 28 degree, I'm not entirely sure, flat bevel, which I'm not used to, so I'm very much looking forward to using this axe a lot. Which reminds me, look for a first impressions video very soon. Follow it up, you know, after many days of using it with a full-on review. Aside from that, hardened pole. So, pounding on some wedges, no problem. Pounding in tent pegs, no problem. Zombie apocalypse and you're taking down the bad guys, still no problem. And that right there is a 90-degree edge for using with either like fat wood or a ferro rod. That's a nice touch. And just as an aside, it's bloody gorgeous. So this is actually part of the Woodcraft series, which is one of Council's premium axe lines. And of course, it commands a premium axe price. In the United States, if you go to Whiskey River Art and Trading, it will cost you $145 US. And up here in Greater Canada, the same axe at the Canadian Outdoor Equipment Company will cost you $195. Canadian Outdoor Equipment Company, however, does free shipping on anything over 50 bucks, which is nice. The next item at 200 bucks depends on what the exchange rate is when you're watching this video. It's the Casström Lars Fält knife. Right now it costs 1,499 Swedish crowns, which today is either 157.90 in US dollars or 209 Canadian. Obviously plus shipping from Sweden. I don't know what that is. It's a great looking knife. It's got a curly birch handle. It's Lars's take on the traditional woodlore style knife. I believe it's based on their number 10 knife, but with sort of a handle change to his specifications. The blade is 11.5 centimeters long or 4.5 inches. The width is 3.5 mil, which I believe in freedom is an 1/8 of an inch. I think it's a Bowler K720 steel. You know, typical is, I think the Rockwell hardness is about 58. I didn't write that down, sorry guys. There's a left-handed sheath option as well, but unfortunately there's no dangler, and I do love a dangler. But I also love this knife. Okay, hold on to your hats, because now we're getting into Splurge territory. It's gonna be good. Okay, first in the Splurge category is the original, legendary Hudson's Bay stripes blanket, with the teal, the yellow, the red, the black on the off-white background. This blanket is as legendary as it is eye-wateringly expensive to buy. You can collect vintage ones for astronomical prices, or you can buy one brand new at the Hudson's Bay Company. Also very expensive, but it kind of doesn't matter because this blanket has been made at the exact same wool mill in England since 1800. So you get one from 60 years ago, you get one from today, doesn't matter. Now these blankets are 100% wool, so for land's sakes, dry clean only. And they come in 4 sizes. There's a twin, a double, a queen, and a king, which have corresponding point numbers. So a twin is 3.5 points, and a king is, I believe, 8 points. A twin is also $325 Canadian, and they max out at the king is 550 Canadian dollars. And you know, it's funny because I'm dying for one of these. I would love one that's big enough for the bed upstairs. That would be a queen, so that's a 6-pointer. But I also think it would be a really nice addition to my bushcraft and camping kit. So like either the twin or the double sized. Why? Where was I? Yes. I'm kind of torn, right? Because I would love to have a big queen size one for our bed upstairs, but I also really would like to get one as part of my camping and bushcraft gear. So that would be like maybe a twin or a double. So a 3.5 point or a 4-pointer. I mean, that's a lot of money to pour into a bushcraft or camping kit on one item, though. So, you know, it may end up just being a bucket list item. But, so nice. And as growing up Canadian, these things have been part of the national character for as long as I've been, well, for longer than I've been around. So it's just a little piece of Canadiana. I love them. Oh, so expensive, but I love them. Next in the Splurge category is a winter canvas hot tent. Now there's a bazillion options out there. The one I've got here just as an example is the Esker Classic 2 square, the 10x10. It's available at the Canadian Outdoor Equipment Company, but there's tons of these out there. This one specifically is 1,195 Canadian dollars. Okay, it's a good quality sort of canvas. What do we got? So the Classic 2 is essentially their second take on their Classic model. The biggest difference is they've moved the hole for the stovepipe for easier access or something. It's 10x10, which is big enough for 4 people with a stove or 6 people without. It's got a two-way zipper, an adjustable air vent, double sewn seams. It's compliant with all Canadian tent and fire safety regulations. And it doesn't have a floor in it. You know, some have a zip-in floor, this one does not. So be aware that you got to really tamp down the snow. I think Pine Martin said that you have to tamp down the snow for like 45 minutes at a go or something just to get it real rock hard. So you've got a hard floor. That way you avoid the dreaded slushy effect. What else we got about it? Oh yeah, inside there are loops for hanging a clothes drying line, which I think is probably pretty standard at this point. And you know, as I said, there are all kinds of them out there. Just do your research and find a good one. This one, Esker generally gets good reviews on their stuff. So if I was to spend $1,200 on a hot tent, this is probably the one I'd get. When I spend $1,200 on a hot tent, this is probably the one I'll get. I have 2 honorable mentions, both of which were suggested by my sub, Austin's Corner. And they're compelling because they both sort of unhook us a little bit from the consumer whirlwind that is Christmas. The first he says is to give someone a bushcraft experience, like a tea in the woods or a tree ID trip or something. And I think, you know, if you think about it, you can find something along those lines that might actually be a really compelling gift. Or even, like, if I just riff on this, or even if you buy someone, like, a weekend lesson, that would be expensive. But, you know, a basic bushcraft weekend, or if they're already fairly experienced, maybe a canoeing weekend or something, you know, a course, which is a cool idea. The second honorable mention from Austin is to find a way you can give back to the community somehow. Either through volunteering, maybe at a symposium or something, or finding an organization that you can donate some of your unused gear to. And I think that's a really good idea because I'm on record as saying I don't like to collect. You know, if I have 8 knives and only 4 ever get used, then I'm going to move the other 4 on. I'll sell them on so that someone can use them and enjoy them rather than them sitting in my drawer somewhere. And I'm not here to hate on collectors, but for me personally, I like to off-gas the stuff. And there's got to be volunteers opportunities somewhere, even with a scout group or something. I know some of my subs and friends are scout leaders, or I don't know if I have that term right, but you know, they're the adults who work with scouts. So Austin, I think those are both really, really good suggestions. Thank you. And I think it's good to have someone suggest something that's not buying gear. So I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that. Thanks, man. So that's all she wrote. Thanks for hanging out for my gift guide. As I always say, if you like what I'm doing, then please, please, please get the conversation started down below. This week, what I'd like to know is, did you or are you planning to buy or receive any bush gear this year? Aside from that, share that video. It helps me more than you could possibly imagine. And aside from that, if you're not subscribed, then please subscribe. If you are subscribed, then hit that little bell and leave me a smiley thumb. If you don't like what I'm doing, leave me a frowny thumb. Thanks for watching, guys.